Yo creo que el diálogo probablemente. Este juego generalmente lo más importante es el diálogo. Ya, o sea, bajo mi punto de vista. Mentir, intimidación, persuasión. Sí, me voy
If
por el.
we're ever captured, I'll let you do the talking.
Sí, me voy por diálogo. ¿Y me puedo ir por otra cosa aparte?
Your skills would have been wasted in a corporate lab.
Sí, yo creo que está bien. No. Aumenta la habilidad. Puede ser, tal vez, pero. Ya no me dejan elegir más. Siguiente, vamos a ver. Persuasión más uno. Nada, persuasión más uno.
Working your way up to provisioner?
No, hombre. Me tengo que jugar Fallout 3 también. Y Fallout New Vegas. De nuevo. Pero bueno. No he tenido el tiempo. Y no me he sentido bien tampoco. Gráficamente por lo menos se ve bastante bien. Mejillas, manchas y guerra. Siguiente. Siguiente. Talento de armas cuerpo a cuerpo. Talento cuerpo a cuerpo a una mano. Talento iniciales. Principiantes. Bloquea ataque cuerpo a cuerpo. 40 multiplicar efecto de impacto. Alcance de arma. Eso es como un overhaul, ¿no? El resumen. Ah.
Looks to be your lucky day, my friend.
Please power down your engines and prepare to be...
Not likely, bootlickers. Ugh. Initiate skip jump.
Status. Structural integrity down 25%. Power levels down 90%. Skip drive.
Shit.
Inoperable.
Ah, there you are. Wondering what's going on, eh? A bit of bad news there, I'm afraid. Your colony ship was inexplicably knocked out of skip space and forced to complete its journey at sublight speeds. This means that you and every other colonist on the Hope have been in suspended animation for 70 years, give or take. Normally, reviving someone after so long leads to some quite horrifying results. It's called explosive cell death, but it's really more of a liquefaction. Something wrong? Oh, yes, well, not to worry. I've pumped your body full of a special concoction I devised to keep you from dying so horrifically. Hopefully at all, but I guess we'll see, yes? Unfortunately, I used the last of my chemical supplies saving you. I know it's a lot to ask, but I must have your help securing more if we're to save the rest of your fellow colonists. I'd see it done myself, of course, but the board has a sizable bounty on my head. Now, my ship is inoperative, but I've managed to hire a smuggler to help you out. He'll be... Oh, I see we're in position. Good luck! Can you hear me? Is this thing working? Ah, there you are. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, the smuggler. His name is Hawthorne, and he should be waiting for you at the landing site. He's to be your chauffeur, so to speak. Not to worry.
Ya, bueno, vamos a darle.
Told he's a specialist. Dashing gunslinger, one-of-a-kind ship, that sort of thing. You'll like him, I'm sure. I've also outfitted you with a simple wireless monitor, so I can track your progress. I'll check in with you as soon as you land. Good luck. All the colonists are counting on you.
Ah, you've landed. Good. Hawthorne should be close by. What in law's name? Is that him? Oh, that idiot. I told him to plant the beacon and move away, not stand there holding it. Oh well, no sense in letting his ship go to waste. Hawthorne won't mind you taking his ship. Better you than the board, huh? Not sure I trusted the fellow. Might have gone after the bounty on my head. Shame about the whole squashing thing. Nasty way to go. Easy now. You've been frozen for a while. There's bound to be unforeseen side effects.
Hey, you, come here. You've tried the best now. Now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh, law, that stings. We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take him. Then my gun misfired. Right through my side. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? Just barely scraped by with my life. Crawled in here and blocked off the exit with those canisters. gibbering, flesh-eating, law-breaking, unemployed lunatics with guns. Some hullhead grounded their spacecraft out in the open. That's a real good way to attract marauders. See those canisters by the entrance? Marauders come sniffing around in here, and I can take them all out with a single shot. Not bad, huh? Yeah, okay. You look like you know your way around a gun. Got some spare ammo, not counting the bullet in my side. All Spacer's Choice weapons are now 30% less likely to malfunction. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's Choice. Yes, nailed it that time. You hit your head or something? You're in Emerald Vale. We're a Spacer's Choice community. Edgewater's a little ways down. Prettiest place in the Vale. Be sure to stop by a provisioner's for a can of our famous saltuna. The Hope? Is that some sort of fancy new drug? Are you with Auntie Cleo or something? Don't take this the wrong way or nothing, but I'm not allowed to fraternize with Cleo workers. Company policy.
Damn it, my ears! Oh, what just happened? Can you hear me? What in the hell? This...
Dilatación táctica del tiempo debido a las complicaciones derivadas de la reanimación tras un largo periodo de hibernación. Tu cerebro procesa el tiempo de forma diferente. Pulsa el botón de dilatación táctica del tiempo para ralentizar el mundo. Así tendrás tiempo para repensar y para ejecutar acciones. En este modo dispones de una cantidad de tiempo ilimitada. Si no te mueves en medio de muy lentamente, pero si te desplazas, atacas y disminuyes a media velocidad. Entiendo.
We're gonna find you! Hell! Make you bleed! Smell something.
Pirateo y cerrajería. Tus talentos de pirateo y cerrajería pueden llegar a lugares en los que no deberías estar. Los electroganzúas sirven para abrir cerraduras derivadores para acceder a ordenadores ejecutados. Si tienes el suficiente talento para burlar el sistema de seguridad, podrás ver necesitas para cuánto tiempo. Ok. ¿Qué es esto? Talento. Es un arma, ¿no? Ah, de dos manos. Estaba pensando tal vez jugar Skyrim, no ahora, pero Skyrim nunca lo terminé. Ahora, si lo jugase con mods sería infinito realmente. Lo jugaría con mods, yo creo, pero tengo que buscar una buena lista, digamos, de mods. Pueden estar hasta 4 armas equipadas al mismo tiempo, solo tienes que elegir el arma y seleccionar un espacio en la parte superior de la pantalla. En esta página puedes también examinar tus armas y comparar las marcadores como basura o desmontarlas por piezas. Los jugadores con talento en ingeniería pueden reparar armas. Entonces, ambas pegan 73. Supongo que... No, me equivoqué. Entiendo. La verdad es que Skyrim, bueno, tengo otros juegos que quiero acabar, la verdad, que no tienen nada que ver con Skyrim. Lo que sí siento un poco raro es la forma en cómo funciona los ataques, digamos. Como que no se siente una vibración. Como que se siente muy suave los golpes. No hay un retroceso. No hay nada. No sé, como que se siente un poco raro el combate, honestamente.
Get over here before you get yourself killed. Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators. Gall on that rung leech. Landing in the Vale without using an official Spacer's Choice landing pad. I'd slap him with a fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about. You out of your mind? No way. Once we've dealt with these marauders, I'm hunting that sick freak down. I just, you know, need a couple of winks to catch my breath. Stretch my legs some. Well, sometimes. Management's real good at cost-benefit analysis. But, seeing as I'm the acting manager in this situation... You know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders off, find whoever owns that ship, and file a full report. Then it's gonna be fucking laminated.
Here we go.
Quiero ver una cosa solamente. Es que me parece como muy suave el movimiento de las armas, la verdad.
I'm about to give those psychotic wrong leeches
Marauders,
what for.
deserters, illegal landing. What is this colony coming to?
Please be informed that this vessel contains no valuable plunder.
Y aquí está todo
Intruders
así.
are not authorized to access the unreliable's amenities.
O sea, como que se siente un poquito como... no tan realista el tema de los combates.
Marauder, please be informed that the engine room contains nothing of value. Unauthorized access of spacefaring vessels is a crime. Please submit yourself to the authorities. Hello, Marauder. I am Ada, the autonomous digital astrogator of this vessel. Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors. Please return any misappropriated equipment and exit this vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction. I detect an elevated heart rate, indicating dishonesty. Please prepare yourself for lethal deterrence. Jettison procedures initiated. Disengaging airlocks. Preparing to eject all boarded parties in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed to express disappointment. This vessel is the registered property of Captain Alex Hawthorne. I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne. I deduce from the tone of your voice that Captain Hawthorne failed to meet you at the designated location. I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty. I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand? I understand. You are speaking metaphorically. You wandered outside this ship and experienced a permanent, life-changing encounter. The old you is dead. Welcome back, Captain Hawthorne. I extend felicitations and congratulations on your life-changing experience. You are welcome. Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing. The main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced. Astutely observed. However, the probability of locating a power regulator within a worker settlement falls within acceptable parameters of certainty. High-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical networks of worker settlements. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new captain's identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time. This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand? Thank you. I appreciate your cooperation. Best of luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay alive this time.
¿Qué tal, Car? Sí, lo cambié porque... A ver, me gusta... me gusta el juego ya, pero... No sé, no... No estoy, como que no tengo ganas de... o sea, tengo ganas de jugar otras cosas que... Donde pueda avanzar, digamos, en una historia o en un concepto de historia y no quedarme pegado jugando algo que solamente voy a farmear para ser más fuerte sin un sentido apropiado, no sé si me entiendes. Porque, claro, es como Genshin Impact, pero no tengo ganas de jugar infinitamente un juego que ni siquiera es online y que solamente ni siquiera hay, o sea, hay una historia muy corta de por medio. El juego es muy bueno, pero es como para alguien que quiera solamente farmear y farmear y farmear y farmear y farmear y farmear sin parar, ¿me entiendes? Y tengo muchos juegos que puedes farmear, pero tienen una historia y me gusta más ese concepto. Sí, el online es solo con amigos. Pero no tiene, o sea, pero para mí no tiene una meta, no sé si me entiendes. La meta es solamente hacerte más fuerte para hacer nuevas instancias. No es como, no sé, Monster Hunt. Monster Hunt te ponen en un papel con una historia, con un montón de farmeo, con un montón de criaturas y un montón de monstruos que vas a tener que ir enfrentando, pero los enfrentas por un motivo. Y los enfrentas para hacerte más fuerte, para poder avanzar en la historia, para poder encontrar nuevas variedades, para analizar no sé, pues, cuál es la diferencia entre un monstruo y otro, cuáles son las variantes, entre otras cosas. No, hay miles de cosas con Monster Hunter, pero en ese juego como que siento que te quedas corto un poco con respecto al resto de cosas. Solamente farmeas sin una historia por el simple hecho de hacerte más fuerte. Yo creo que sí puedes conectar con gente random. Yo creo que hay un tope de hacerte fuerte, pero no, vuelvo a decirte, como que siento que no es un juego que para mí sea importante por el simple hecho de que la historia no es importante y simple y llanamente el concepto es subir más tu habilidad o fuerza. Eso es todo. No, como que no me engancha, ¿me entiendes? Me gusta el juego, me gusta el combate, me gustan los aspectos que tiene, pero falla mucho en el tema de soltarte una historia decente y buena que te continúe enganchando para hacerte más fuerte. Por último, Monster Hunt, claro, tiene historias secundarias y tiene cosas que te hacen querer ser más fuerte por un motivo, ¿no? Y siempre tienes como una especie como de tope en Monster Hunt eh, donde llega un punto donde no puedes ir avanzando porque tus armaduras o porque tus cosas no son de un nivel necesario y te obligan a seguir farmeando porque si no puedes farmear no puedes avanzar a la historia, ¿no? Esa es la diferencia entre Monster Hunt y ese juego. Entonces para mí un juego que solamente tengo que conseguir objetos y farmear ítems para solamente ser más fuerte, como por ejemplo en Diablo 4, no tiene sentido. Yo soy bien farmer, pero cuando hay una historia por medio. Por ejemplo, este juego es como Fallow. Fallout también es un juego que es como bien farmero, me falta darme vuelta el 3 y el New Vegas, pero es también mucho farmeo, mucho exploración, pero tienes una historia, ¿me entiendes? Entonces, esa es la diferencia entre uno y otro. No quiero perder mi tiempo, que mi tiempo es muy valioso, infinitamente, en algo que no me va a dar nada. Ese es el punto. Que hice seminarios de gestión especializado de citas, celos, selección de ventaja. Estamos en la primera selección de ventaja en esta pantalla, puedes elegir. O sea, tengo más de 300 juegos que no he jugado y que tienen historia, muchos de ellos. Que dice en esta pantalla puedes elegir una ventaja que quieres comparar con tus puntos de ventaja, conseguir puntos de ventaja nuevos cada 2 niveles. También puedes obtener puntos de ventaja durante el juego aceptando una flaqueza, por ejemplo, te da 5 puntos de 5 ventajas nuevas de implementación, creo. Y aquí, ¿qué cosa es esto? Esto es... Segunda salud inicial. Máximo del medidor de que es dilatación táctica de tiempo. Velocidad de carrera, pérdida de durabilidad de armas, probabilidad de impacto crítico, compañero. Yo creo que por ahora le voy a dar a salud, porque es como lo único que podría servirme. Que dice distancia de evasión, duración de efecto. Los talentos de defensa aumentan tu habilidad para evitar recibir daño. Yo creo que probablemente voy a aumentarlo. Y distancia. Ventajas, había dicho eso. No sé. Aplicar. Inventario. No sé, yo soy como... Me gusta, o sea, me gustan varios tipos de juegos, pero en este caso en específico, em, como te digo, no, me gustan mucho los gráficos, me gusta mucho el concepto, pero siento que al final...
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because it started making a bit of a clamor after you went in. Scared the marauders right off. And if this ship is yours, well, mister, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. I'm afraid we gotta dock your pay.
Voy a usar... Me encanta poder usar esto, la verdad. Mentira.
Oh, by the law. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector coming. If you'd like to speak with my manager, I report to Constable Reyes in Edgewater. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Me encanta poderlos engañar, realmente. Son muy estúpidos. Ahora, yo no sé qué tan bueno sea este juego, la verdad. Yo creo que es bueno, pero sentí un poquito el combate como medio no fluido, la
Hear
verdad.
that? Right, you! I got blood hiding! You scared?
Sí, no se siente fluido para nada el combate, honestamente. Se siente un poquito como...
Gonna find you!
O sea, mira, yo te voy a dar un consejo, ¿ya? Te voy a dar un consejo y espero que lo tomes si te sirve, claro. Pero realmente yo, bajo todo lo que vi, no te lo puedo no te lo puedo recomendar, ¿ya? No es un mal juego, pero no tiene un fundamento para comprarlo, ¿me entiendes? Es un juego que simplemente si amas farmear y amas perder tu tiempo en un juego que no tiene una historia, cómpralo. Si tú amas perder el tiempo en algo que no tiene un sentido o una lógica, porque no la tiene, está bien, cómpralo. Porque al final lo vas a disfrutar, porque es un juego entretenido, con un combate entretenido. Eso, ¿me entiendes? Pero si realmente valoras tu tiempo y realmente te gustan los juegos que tengan una historia un poco más profunda, no lo compres. No. Ese es el concepto, que es lo que yo te puedo dar como consejo. Porque realmente no vale la pena para mí, por el hecho de que no tiene una historia. ¿No? Tiene una historia muy vaga, muy pequeña. El combate me encantó, los gráficos me encantaron. Eh, lo que más me gustó fue el combate y los gráficos, la verdad. Pero el simple hecho de no tener historia es para mí es un no. Por eso te digo, si no te importa la historia y solo quieres farmear, es un juego que te sirve para ti, 100%.
Your pod? What are you on about? You take a bruise to the cranium? Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls. And low prices. Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family.
O sea, como te dije, lo mejor que tiene el juego es el combate y los gráficos.
Got a knack for being discreet-like? There's money to be made, long as you keep your nose clean. Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites, we rent them from the company. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite delinquent in paying their dues, you see? Four workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little. He just is. Look, I don't want to get into it. Just make sure he pays up. Conrad's got a barbershop in town. Phyllis works at the cannery most hours. Abernathy... I ain't seen him in a few days. His domicile is near the cannery. You'll find him in town. All except Ludwig, that is. He's over by the landing pad. Yeah?
O sea, bueno, en base a lo que yo vi ayer, que fue bastante, la verdad, eh, claro, el combate resalta mucho. Eh, y los gráficos también, definitivamente.
Spacer's choice takes... Keep your distance, friend. Sick house is no place for a traveler.
I appreciate the company and all, but you really ought to leave. You don't want to be seen around me. Because I'm sick. You don't want to associate with people in the sick house. We're not worth your time. I'm in about as much trouble as I can be. No reason you ought to be tarnished by association. People are gonna talk. Figured it was obvious. I got sick. Couldn't get better on my own. Got moved here for everyone's sake. Maybe you don't know this, but there's a real simple reason you don't talk to the plagued. You don't want what we've got. Don't. Please. I could get into a lot of trouble. That's kind of you to say, I suppose. But I don't need help. What I need is to understand my own folly. Company always tells us, weak spirits lead to weak bodies. If I didn't want to fall sick with plague, maybe I should have worked harder. Maybe I should have taken more pride in my work. I really wish you wouldn't say those sorts of things. I told you once already. People could be listening. I'm feeling a touch faint. If you don't mind, I'd like to be alone for a spell.
Please don't touch anything. Your hands are probably crawling with germs. Physical hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene. Cleanliness is next to lawfulness. We don't believe in free anything here in Edgewater. We're a Spacer's Choice company. I'm Conrad. You will report to me if your hair fails to meet Spacer's Choice aesthetic standards. You will also report to me in the event of your death, whereupon I will clean and prepare your remains for interment. A ship? Dear me. You seem to have lost the ability to distinguish between reality and fantasy. This is what happens when you let your imagination run wild. I don't approve of fantasizing. It's a dreadful habit, corrosive to the mental faculties. You ought to let the vicar take a look inside your head. Vicar Maximilian, our man from the OSI, here to spread the message of scientism like a soothing balm upon a feverish head. Or so you'd expect. You'll find him in our local church, probably neglecting his duties. Ah, gravesite fees. Silas and I had talked about this at length. I thought I'd made it clear my pecuniary situation precludes the necessary restitutions. As broke as pie crust, friend. Bitless, indigent, destitute. I simply cannot afford it. I am a blemish on the prosperity of our fair settlement. When I expire, I expect Silas to toss my body into a ditch. With what? My own blood? Tell Silas I can't afford to pay, and that I fully expect to have my medical rights revoked for this dereliction. With my apologies. Not a bad idea. But I'd need some kind of collateral. My pair of lucky clippers! No, that won't do. Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have anything to give Silas. I'm open to suggestions. Much obliged.
If you're falling sick, I don't want you near me.
Don't worry. You read the latest report?
Huh?
Only the part that said we ain't making our quotas.
I don't know you. Uh-huh. Be unreliable, you say? Never heard of any company supply ship with that particular name. I don't know what you're about, but this here's a Spacer's Choice drinking establishment. We're all loyal, hard-working company folk here. Am I that easy to read? Yeah, we've been having some problems lately. Loyalty issues, lines in the sand. I know where folk in Edgewater stand. But you, I don't know you. If you're gonna have a drink, I'd like to ask that you do it within the premises. Can't have you taking drinks over to those deserters. Coming right up.
Yes, Mr. Thompson. I'm fine, Mr. Thompson. Never been healthier. Whoa, did Mr. Thompson send you? Well, you tell Mr. Thompson I'll be right at my post. Tomorrow. Bright and early tomorrow. Because I'm definitely not plagued. As spry as a spring chicken. That's old Abernathy. You some sort of wandering alienist? Walking into a man's own domicile, pestering him about his mental state? What? No. I mean, I might be. That depends on who's asking. Silas knows, doesn't he? That's why he sent you. That's why he wants me to pay up. He knows. Sounds like he's already told you. You may as well hear it from me. I'm dying. I'm not long for this world. The date of my expiration is fast approaching, and soon I shall be ushered through the great cannery in the skies. It's plague. Has to be. Silas knows. He knows I got one foot in my grave, and now he wants to charge me for the other one. I'll pay your fees. I don't want any trouble from Silas. But if you could see a way to freelancing for me, I could really use the help. There's a cache of anthracillin tucked away in the old community center. Powerful stuff. Stronger than what we got, anyway. I need you to break in, nab that medicine, and bring it back to me. I'll do what I can. You will not find any guards within sight of that old place. Marauders, on the other hand. I have it on good authority. There's a gang of them squatting there. I advise stepping softly. So you'll do it then? You oblige me with your haste. I think I feel the plague spreading. Oh, law, it's in my spleen now. I can feel it. Just keep your head down when you're in there. Marauders have taken over. Probably tracking mud all over the archives.
You're making a mistake working for Abernathy.
Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing.
What can I do for you? Oh? Am I in the company of a fellow doctor? I am a Spacer's Choice certified surgeon, and if you must know, I can stitch a severed thumb with a 58% chance of avoiding gangrene. Go ahead. The plague's come at us with a vengeance this year. Lost 6 workers in as many months. I wouldn't call them good workers, mind you. If they were any good, they'd have been treated. Still, it is a shame. Fever, chills, fatigue, aching, vomiting, an excess of phlegm, a tendency towards belly aching. Whatever it may be, I have developed my own palliative. Boiled canid liver and a splash of ethanol.
I've been feeling pretty low these days.
At least you got your health.
Welcome to the Spacer's Choice Constabulary. We are Halcyon's leading brand in frontier justice. The office is writing up promotion. Purchase 3 criminal investigations and the 4th one's free. Know how to carry yourself in a fight? I've got bounties out for these 3 marauders. Cross them off and bring me their fingers. Just 1 per marauder, please. I'll dust off the old fingerprint roller. As long as your questions fall within the acceptable margins of curiosity. His likeness decorates many a wanted poster. Do you have any relevant information about this individual?
Almost lost a finger in the
No sé, como que siento que hay algo que le falta a este juego. Se siente un poco vacío, la verdad. Es como... Se ve bien dentro de todo, pero se siente un poco vacío el mundo. No lo siento como tan como Fallow, la verdad. Algo ahí... No sé, hay algo como que, como dije, que siento que... que se siente como raro, la verdad. Pensé que este juego realmente me iba a gustar harto, pero no sé, hay algo que tiene como que me hace pensar de que tal vez no es el momento para jugarlo. O sea, se siente como dije un poco, lo malo es que no va a cambiar, o sea, en el tiempo, digamos, ya. No sé por qué siento como que siento que estaba un poco vacío.
Hey, you hear about Wilson?
Heard Marauders got in.
Just between us, Wilson deserted. Lost his nerve.
Que supongo que el otro está acá, ¿no? No, parece que es afuera. Bueno, que gráficamente se ve bastante bien, no está tan mal, definitivamente no está tan mal. Pero... no sé, como que en temas de como... No sé cómo decirlo, pero... Como de mundo, es como... Siento que es un poco...
Some sort of freelancer?
Un poco vacío. ¿Cuál es mi ubicación?
I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute.
You're safer inside the walls.
La verdad que no tengo... No tengo ganzúas.
Thank the law. I've been requisitioning backup for months. Guess the boss finally came to his senses. You ever swung a truncheon? Let me see your rifling stance. I want to make sure you're up to snuff. I told Silas I'd pay my dues if he agreed to join the resistance. Guess this means he's finally heard the calling. The war, the coming apocalypse, man versus machine. I'm talking about mechanical soldier. Cold, heartless automatons made of iron and lies. Just my luck. I ask for backup and the boss sends me one of them simple folk. All right. Listen real close. Auto-mechanicals. Creatures forged in the fires of malevolence. I seen them over by the old power plant. Clattering about. Firing at the birds. Orchestrating their uprising. When the swarms of mechanicals come clanging on over that hill, where will you be? Cowering beneath your cot? Or standing, shoulder to shoulder with the resistance? I've been gathering up a war chest over the years. Saltuna cans, mostly, some Spacer's chaw, few bit cards. I'll reward you for your aid. Enlistment fees. Yeah, I suppose. Wouldn't want to give the resistance a bad name. They have sent a scout, prowling around the junkyard just behind our beloved town. This scout must not be permitted to return to its base of operations. Cross it off, then report back.
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy. Foreman Granger. Mind those words don't come out of your mouth unless preceded by yes, or right away, or thank you. Shit. Silas still on about that. Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment. Because they're not my fees, and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill. If you're not familiar with board law, you ought to be. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me. Shame, though. Eugene was a good worker. Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why. The kid was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire.
Spacer's Choice handguns aren't the most reliable.
What can I do for you? Go ahead. Edgewater has been good to me. I consider myself privileged to work here. I am never wanting for work, not since the plague started. As the good vicar says, work fortifies the spirit of a man. If you want to feel exhausted, try not having any work. What do you think you're doing? Carry on.
El aire de la superficie parecía increíblemente...
What do you think you're doing? Just keep your fingers to your own self, okay? Hey, I saw that. What do you think you're doing? Just don't make any trouble for me, okay?
Fancy threads. That some kind of hibernation suit? Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Yeah? The colony ship? Are you talking about that old rumor? Some great big starship packed full of colonists what got lost in the aether never to be found again? Ain't heard that one since I was but a stripling. Can't say it was terribly convincing far as rumors go. There a reason you asking? All right, easy now. No need to get your hackles up. Maybe you've been out in the sun too long. Why don't you head over to the cantina? Get yourself some zero-G brew. It's a brew that's good for what ails you. Something I can do for you? Yeah? What about him? Well, yeah. It's what I'm contractually obligated to do. What's this about? Yeah. Funny thing, Eugene's body ain't where it's supposed to be. The night we was supposed to commend his body to the earth, I had his grave all dug up and ready, right? and so I thought, I'll just rest my eyes a bit. When I woke up, his body was gone, spirited away, vanished. The footprints nearby suggested that Eugene was stolen by marauders. Or he rose from the dead. Let me know if you find anything. You run into any trouble? Conrad's barbershop is a yawning pit that swallows his every bit. I keep telling him he should cut a few corners, skimp out on the disinfectant. You gotta put the squeeze on Conrad. Find some dirt on him. Maybe check his back room. That's the word, extortion. Been on the tip of my tongue all day.
O sea, me gusta cómo funciona el juego, pero lo siento un poco o sea, como que hay algo que le falta. No sé qué, pero voy a seguir dándole por ahora. Diversión. Este tipo no me quiere soltar la plata y tengo que terminar la misión. Me dice que lo extorsione. Algo tiene que haber que yo no he visto. Eso es lo del diente de oro. Pero no sé qué podría usar contra él, la verdad. Se supone que...
What can I do for you? You know about Eugene? How? You were probably poking around my things. I really shouldn't leave my letters sitting out in the open. Eugene's golden teeth were a family heirloom, representing 3 generations of poor dental hygiene. He took them to his grave. That's unthinkable. Eugene's body and all rare earth minerals contained therein are solely the property of Spacer's choice. I can't ask Silas to dig up a man's body and pry a few teeth loose from his jaw just to pay my bills. Can I? Yes, I suppose I must. Here you are. Gravesite papers affixed with my signature and an IOU. Eugene was not a suicide. He put a bullet in his brain, yes, but that's largely a technicality. I was the one who prepared Eugene's body for interment. I discovered symptoms of the plague on his corpse, and I discovered medicine in his pocket. Lots of medicine. Eugene overdosed on adrenatime, which is known to cause psychosis and paranoia as possible side effects. The paranoia drove him to take his own life. We can all thank our lucky stars that young Eugene was hopped up on medication and suffered its predictable side effect. I included it all in my official report. I'd like to think I saved Edgewater a great deal of money. We never could have paid the fines associated with a suicide.
Grave digging's a fine profession. Always work to be had, and nary a word of complaint out of your clients. You run into any trouble? Reliable work from a freelancer. That's gonna take some getting used to. And I'll buy you a drink sometime. Oh, suppose you've earned it. One good turn deserves another. Abernathy was sick? With the plague? That's disgusting. I shook hands with the guy. What? No. If I knew he was sick, I would have had him reported. I needed his fees because of his name. A, for Abernathy. He was at the top of my list, you see?
O sea, igual me parece interesante. Voy a, como dije, seguir dándole porque tiene como un estilo de follow diferente, o sea, un poquito diferente, no igual, pero tiene un estilo de follow. Lo único que sentí como medio mal, o sea, bueno, se siente un poco vacío el mundo, eso sí hay que decirlo. Y lo otro que sentí que me pareció un poco raro es como el combate. El combate también se siente un poco como raro. No sé cómo explicarlo, la verdad, pero es como raro, es como medio raro. Ahora estos bichos me van a matar. Son demasiado fuertes como para que yo pueda matarlos ni cagando. No los voy a matar, pero ni a palos. Bueno, en serio. Vamos a mirar un poco por aquí. Yo sé que aquí hay... Estos como ladrones, ¿no? Igual balas tengo, así que no... Lo que me falta comprar son ganzúas. No tengo muchas. En realidad no tengo ganzúas. Pues no tengo nada de esto. Pero no sé dónde sacarlas tampoco. Ahora todo me hace mucho daño. En serio. Me faltan ganzúas. Actividades criminales, el allanamiento, la cerrajería y la piratería. Así. Actividades ilegales de la sociedad no lo ven como bueno, ojo, evita que te vean si quieres realizar esto. Bueno, quiero revisar cada mensaje. Claramente la piratería no es buena para la gente, porque se molestan. Obviamente nadie quiere que tú te metas en los asuntos como personales. Pero bueno. Es como un follow, pero algo le falta. O sea, no siento que esté mal el juego porque no es malo para nada. Pero algo siento que le falta. Eso sí puedo decir, como que hay algo que le falta. No digo que Fallout 3 o Fallout New Vegas son unas obras maestras, pero se sienten un poco más llenos que este juego, en varios sentidos. Pero como dije, voy a seguir dándole y viendo qué onda. A ver si puedo sacarle más provecho al juego, digamos. Todavía es muy poco lo que ha avanzado, honestamente, como para poder dar una opinión concreta. Me faltan cosas, como dije, quiero tratar de abrir todas las cosas. Pero no tengo las ganzúas o las cosas que necesito. Esto está cerrado. Puntos de talento, me dice. A ver. Persuasión, sigilo, infiltración. ¿Qué es esto? Probablemente esto es algo que voy a subir igual. Voy a subirlo bastante. Porque al final lo otro subió bastante. Sí, le voy a dar todos los puntos a sigilo y infiltración. Dale bien. Después ya podré... Tengo 10 puntos. Vamos. No hago mucho daño. No hago mucho daño, pero prefiero. Porque sigilo es infiltración, piratería y cerrajería. En los puntos de acá tengo 0, detalles, reputación. Bueno, eso estamos bien por ahora, ¿no? En el diario, eso es buscar lo que me están pidiendo. Todo bien. Pero sí creo que sigilo, piratería y todo eso va a servir igual que la medicina y lo otro, ¿no? Ahora, allá hay algo, pero habían unos bichos bien fuertes, entonces como que al final me arrepentí, no quiero ir, la verdad. Me da como un poco de julepe. Equilibrado, no, calidad, campo de visión máximo, aplicar. Le subí un poco el color ya, porque se veía un poquito opaco, la verdad. Ahora, ¿hay municiones? Hay muchas. Eso es algo que me he dado cuenta. Pero quiero explorar bien las cosas porque al final, como dije, si es como un follow, generalmente tienes que explorar bastante. Y aparte te van a recompensar probablemente por la exploración. Pero me siguen faltando piezas para poder... ¿Cuánto dinero tengo todo esto? Tengo 600, no sé. Tengo 600 de moneditas. Pero no sé quién vende... ¿Cómo se llama? Piezas para la cerrajería, la verdad. Ni idea. Más balas. Me sirve. Igual que esta arma es muy mala, pero bueno. Igual, ¿sabes qué? Igual me gusta el juego, la verdad, voy a ser honesto, me gusta. No voy a decir que no me gusta porque me gusta. Me gusta bastante. Pero como dije, tiene un par de cosas que siento que se siente un poco vacío. Pero es como lo único. Dron de combate. Pero estamos comenzando, así que todavía falta mucho. ¿Tengo un límite de inventario? No creo, no. O sea, sí, tengo un límite de peso, pero no. Armas, valle, balísticas, te salva el pellejo, gestión de armadura. Para colocar un objeto de armadura o casco, desplaza hasta el objetivo y selecciona. También puedes gestionar, montar, examinar o comprar. Claro, pero esto 4, esto 3. Ok. Estos son consumibles. Estas son las ganzúas, ¿no? No. Ah, miren, medicina 80. ¿Qué es esto? Modifica arma a distancia. Son modificaciones, pero estas son las ganzúas. No tengo idea. ¿Este?
Searching for repair bay. Error. Navigation systems failed. Unable to comply. Damage to navigation systems detected. Attempting to return to designated repair bay. Error. Navigation systems failed.
O sea, necesito 46, pero no llego a 46 todavía. Voy a llegar en algún punto para poder reparar este pobre este pobre robotcito. Pero por ahora no tengo 46 de ingeniería. Es que me encantan estos juegos que son como de luteo. Como dije, se parece mucho a Fallout en algunos aspectos, por lo menos. Y eso me trae buenos recuerdos. Igual tengo que darme vuelta a Fallout 3 y me veas como comenté, pero... por ahora le daremos a este, yo creo. Lo que sí sentí fue, como comenté, lo del combate. Lo del combate lo sentí un poquito como, no sé, no tan realista, por decirlo de alguna forma. Entonces aquí probablemente vamos a tener que combatir contra estos, ¿cómo se llama? Estos piratas, creo que son, si no me equivoco. Pero no me quiero saltar la ciudad. Ahora no he encontrado... hasta el momento no he encontrado, ¿cómo se llama? Las ganzúas. Igual, como dije, se siente un poco vacío. Como que no hay mucho movimiento. Yo sé que lo puse en difícil. El daño que hace el man es muy grave. Yo creo que es que el daño que hacen es grave. Y que perdí, no debería haber grabado, la verdad. No debería haber no grabado. La cagué con no grabar, honestamente. Porque igual como dije, el combate no tiene, o sea, el arma no tiene retroceso, no se siente un retroceso en ningún tipo de arma ni nada de eso. O sea, es como que disparas y estás disparando algo que no se siente real, por decirlo de alguna forma. Hay juegos que sí tienen retroceso. En este caso no tiene nada de retroceso, absolutamente nada. Pero yo creo que voy a cambiar la dificultad porque al final normal nomás. No me da ningún beneficio. El único beneficio que me da es que sea más difícil, es lo único. Pero me hacen una cantidad de daño absurdo y tampoco tengo mucha medicina. Entonces siento que no vale la pena, honestamente. Me hubiera gustado que hubiese un retroceso en este juego, pero no lo hay. O sea, un poquito más de realismo, ¿no? Voy a grabar, por si acaso, porque la verdad que prefiero guardarlo. O sea, tampoco la cobertura no es muy buena, honestamente, según yo. El otro me está atacando con una arma. Ay, igual mi vida es una mierda, voy a decir. Sí, no, cero retroceso. Cero de retroceso, la cago. Siento valentía. Entonces me podría dar la vuelta, pero primero voy a revisar esta parte de acá. No es tan grande el mapa como para decir de que es demasiado grande. Follow es mucho más grande. Por donde lo veo.
Stay away!
Ya después demoleré o romperé o lo que sea las armas. Pero ahora no tiene más importancia.
Smell something.
Mira si está Hansua. Definitivamente. No tengo el nivel de para poder abrir, creo. No lo tengo. Es 25. Tengo 24. Maratón. Ahora probablemente si subo de nivel voy a poder abrirlo. Y yo creo que voy a subir de nivel acá. Puede ser. Lo más probable.
Hear that? Attack! Attack! You hiding? You scared? Hear that? Hurt. something? Huh? Who goes? Something there.
Voy a tener que ir a la ciudad a comprar ganzúas, yo creo, porque me hace falta, la verdad, y es lo que menos tengo. Si alguien me pudiera vender 100 ganzúas, sería permitido. O sea, aquí hay algo que... Creo que ese era lo único que no podía abrir, me parece, pero igual necesito ganzúas. Esto ya lo había visto. Y esa parte de arriba yo creo que la vi, ¿o no la vi? No, no la vi. Me voy a devolver y iré a ver si hay alguna tienda o algo que venda ganzúas. Eso me caga un poquito, digamos.
we are getting a brand new edition of the Outer Worlds, which you probably know about. And of course, this is the Spacer's Choice edition of the game for the next generation consoles. And in today's video, we'll be going over how to prepare for this new edition of the Outer Worlds, since it is releasing in literally just a couple of days. And even if it has released, to be honest, and you haven't got it yet, then this video is definitely still going to help you. First of all, we're going to go over everything that we know so far about this edition and all of the new features arriving with it, and even some new content that's arriving as well. And then we'll look at how you can actually get this new edition and what you need to actually do with your console or PC before you do get this new edition, or at least before you do install it, etc, etc. We'll go through everything that you need to know. So let's waste no more time and let's get into how to prepare for the Spacer's Choice edition of the Outer Worlds. So yeah, first of all, let's go over everything we know so far. So firstly, it is going to be a remastered version of the game with better graphics. This means that basically there's going to be improved visuals. It might mean that, you know, the textures are slightly higher resolution. Overall, the environment is going to look slightly better and everything like that. The colors also might look slightly better as well. Just generally speaking, everything's going to look a bit nicer all around. There's also going to be improved performance. This probably means a officially supported 60 frames per second. Maybe 120 frames per second, I find that unlikely, but it is a possibility. But 60 frames per second is going to be the minimum for this new version. There's also going to be additional animations, basically making the game feel a bit more smooth, making combat seem a bit more, you know, realistic, and the interactions in general being slightly better. Then there's also going to be a higher resolution environment. That's pretty similar, to be honest, to the improved graphics, and definitely goes under that, since of course that's all improved graphics. That's going to improve the graphics of the game, basically meaning that stuff's going to look like a higher resolution. It also means there's going to be a native 4K support for this to, you know, support those next generation consoles and take advantage of all of that hardware that you'll be using with those next generation consoles. The developers have also said there's going to be more than that, so maybe there will be some more features other than those, although those really are going to be the main features. I can't see there anything being more significant than those features, so, you know, there may be some other small things, but generally speaking, in terms of features, those are going to be the main things. But there's also going to be some pretty nice additions to the game. One of these is an increased level cap. This means that you will be able to have a higher level cap, and you'll be able to build your character from the 7 branches of the skill tree, and that's what the developers have said. There's going to be an increased level cap. We don't know what this, you know, cap will be, but either way, you're going to be able to reach a higher level within the game, allowing for, you know, more playtime within the game, and just more to work towards within the game as well. Maybe you're going to do a brand new playthrough and reach that maximum level, or maybe you're just going to continue where you left off if you're able to, and just go from there. But basically speaking, that's everything we know about this new edition. And of course, this new edition does include all of the DLCs. We'll get on to how to buy it later on, but it is going to, if you're going to just purchase the Spacer's Choice edition itself, then you will receive all DLCs along with the game, those being the base game, the Outer Worlds Peril on Gorgon, and the Outer Worlds Murder on Eridanos. Those 2 DLCs will be part of this Spacer's Choice edition for the next generation consoles and PC. And when it does come to PC, the game will be on Steam, GOG, and the Epic Games Launcher or the Windows Store. And now let's actually look at the PC requirements. So first of all, there are the minimum PC requirements. This will require an Intel.
So maybe after spending just a little bit too much time in the Outer Worlds these last few days, it is finally time for things I wish I knew earlier in the Outer Worlds. Let's not waste any more time and jump straight into it, as there are quite a few items on this list of tips and tricks. First of all, one of the most useful things, and one of the things I'm most surprised isn't a default preset option instead of being a thing you can disable. What I'm referring to is in the menus while we're checking out our weapons, it'll show us the base damage or DPS, damage per second, of that weapon as it is, without taking into account any of our stats or scaling. Which means that while one weapon could be effectively better in its base form than another weapon, maybe with our specific stat setup, a different weapon is actually going to be doing more damage than the other one, even though its base stats are lower. Thing is, if we go into the settings, we can actually see the option here to disable show base stats. If we disable this, it'll actually show the DPS or damage of the weapon already taken into account the stats of our character as well, which means we can see the final stats of the weapon instead of just the base stats. The second thing we're going to be talking about isn't exactly hidden in the game, but it is hidden how important this can be. And that's that you want to get your science skill up to 20 as soon as you possibly can. That way at the workstations you can tinker the weapons. Tinkering weapons on this game practically just means upgrading their level so they do more damage and get better stats. That way you don't have to rely on finding new, more powerful weapons when you can just upgrade the ones you already have or the ones that you really like already. As you can imagine, it gets more and more expensive the higher the level the weapon is and the more you upgrade it. And you can only upgrade a weapon up to 5 times higher level than your character currently is at. Now this next one maybe only comes into play if you've played some of the older Bethesda games, such as The Elder Scrolls, and don't worry, we're going to try to keep the comparisons the least as possible between games like Fallout and this one, but specifically talking about the steal mechanic, we're used to games like we said on maybe Oblivion, that if you steal an item, whether you get seen or not, you can't really just sell them anywhere. You have to find specific vendors or sell them cheaper, and they're very clearly distinguished in your menu which ones are stolen and which ones are not. However, in the Outer Worlds, really, as long as you don't get seen stealing it, it's fine. Like, once it's yours, and it's as if you'd have just bought it from a shop or found it on the ground somewhere. You can sell it to any vendor as if it wasn't stolen. There's really no repercussion for stealing as long as you don't get seen. And quite honestly, even if you do get seen on this game, it's not a huge deal most of the time. Usually, if you get caught stealing, somebody will approach you and you can either lie or persuade or intimidate your way out of it, and nothing really comes of it other than losing a little bit of reputation in that faction. With that said, there was this one occasion where they caught me stealing. I think it was twice in the same place and they all just started shooting me, but I walked out and came back and it was pretty chill like 2 minutes afterwards. So the point of this, if you want to steal something, go ahead and just steal it. Pretty good life advice in general. This next one is only really that useful if you're planning on playing on Supernova difficulty, as some of you have probably unfortunately found out that the companion deaths on Supernova are pretty much permanent. If your companion goes down on Supernova difficulty, unlike on normal difficulty where they just get knocked out and then they come back to life after you finish that encounter, on Supernova they're not coming back, they are dead, that's it. So on Supernova I would definitely recommend not bringing your companions out into battle until you have access to the Don't Go Dying on Me perk. What this perk does is so that when you go to heal with your inhaler, it actually revives any teammates that recently just died. So if they do happen to go down, you can quickly bring them back to life and give them another chance. Sure, this perk does have a cooldown of 15 minutes at a time, so if they do happen to die twice in that same 15-minute fraction, they are going to be dead permanently, but it's nice to have that second chance every now and then on Supernova difficulty. And of course, this perk does work on other difficulties as well, and it's kind of useful, but it's definitely not as important as it would be on Supernova. Now that we're on the topic of perks, definitely go ahead and upgrade your run speed as soon as you possibly can. Like one of the first, if not the first perk you should upgrade is definitely the run speed. Because heck, you're going to be running around the world a lot and it's going to definitely speed up the process of literally everything and get everything done a little bit quicker. So statistically speaking, it is the best perk you can unlock first, as its, let's say, compound interest of time saved over time is going to be so much more than anything else you can unlock this early on. So for the first few hours, and in my case quite a few hours, I never really checked out the inhaler / consumables menu very much, as I was so immersed in everything else in the game. It's very overwhelming, a lot of things to learn. But soon we realized that if we go into our medic / consumables menu, the first item always has to be the adreno shot. And this is what heals 25% of our health over a 2-second period. But then next to it, the higher we upgrade our medic skill, we get more and more slots beside it. And these other slots are to combine with other consumables to get other effects other than just healing. This means that any other consumable we equip beside the adreno shot, that when we press L1 and use the inhaler, we'll get the temporary buffs off of those consumables as well. And that's not the tip, obviously that's pretty straightforward and most people have realized that by now. The thing I didn't realize until quite long into the game, I never really thought about it, that you can actually unequip the adreno shot. But you can't just do it by reselecting it as you would any other item. You actually have to press the options button while on the adreno shot and then go up to unequip. And even without the adreno shot, you can put other consumables in the other slots, so you can use the inhaler to get buffs that have nothing to do with healing. This can be extra damage, extra movement speed is especially the main one I used it for. As you can see here, getting 20% movement speed just for traversing through the world is really useful without wasting any adreno shots every single time we want to use the inhaler for different buffs. Next thing I've seen that's quite annoying around the internet is a lot of these guides or tip videos are saying to save your skill points until later on. Like, don't spend your skill points and perks maybe until you encounter a situation where you actually need those skill points. Which at first sight may seem like good advice, but considering on this game it's really straightforward to respec both your skill points and your perks pretty cheaply. It gets more expensive each time, but you can go to the ship whenever you like, and just above the workstation, you can just respec them all whenever you like pretty much in the game. So don't sweat too much where you put in your points or perks, just have fun with it and then you can just readjust them afterwards if you really need to. And unless you're playing on like Supernova or even hard difficulty, it's not like a huge deal. I had my points all over the place on my first playthrough and it was just fine. Don't worry about it too much. Another one that I was hesitant to even put on this video, as again it's from pretty much every tips and guides video I've seen so far, is like #1 on everywhere. But it is a pretty useful tip for those of you who like to have your menus and inventory all sorted very specifically. And it's a cool feature that's actually really nice that they included it in this game. Is that if we press the options button, or whatever the equivalent button would be on PC and Xbox, you can sort your inventory here by weight, by weight to value, by
Igual sigo sintiendo que es como un poco vacío, la verdad, el mundo. Se siente.
All perform. Unexpected. Auto-ready patrols initiated. Unauthorized persons. Running security patrol. Repairs required in nearby automech. Security but system.
I serve out of a car! Get them! Thank you! Hey! What's that noise? Come out and play. Heard something? Smell something? Weak! So weak!
Unexpected.
Weak! Gonna find you! Let's go! Smell something? Come out and play. I smell blood. Close. Thank you! Hey! Gonna find you!
Sorry si no hablo mucho en los episodios, pero como estoy pasando por un momento un poco complejo físicamente. Entonces no me siento, o sea, me siento bien, pero no tan bien como para hablar como hablo siempre, la verdad. O sea, no es que me sienta bien 100%, honestamente, me siento más o menos. Por eso es que no hablo muy poco. No sé, es como un follow, pero como que siento que algo le falta al juego. O sea, quiero jugarlo y probablemente lo voy a jugar, lo voy a tratar de terminar y todo el tema, pero siento que hay algo en específico que le falta a este juego. Hay algo que no se siente como correcto, digamos, dentro del juego, como que no sé, es como que es muy vacío el mapa de por sí. Tiene, o sea, tiene varias cosas. No voy a decir que no tiene cosas, pero tiene algunas cosas como interesantes y positivas, ¿no? La exploración y todo ese tema. Pero hay algo que se siente como medio, no sé, medio diferente, honestamente. Con respecto a un follow, ¿no? Como dije, igual se siente cómodo, entretenido, pero me encantaría que fuese un follow diferente, no sé. Porque claramente follow es follow y este es otro juego, ¿no? Eso está claro. Pero hay algo que lo hace sentir como que algo falta, no sé si me entiendes. Como que es un mundo medio vacío con algunas cosas, harto loot en teoría, pero igual sigo sintiendo que hay algo que le falta a este juego. Como hay algo no sé qué, como tal vez es muy vacío, tal vez el sentimiento de las armas no es tan buena como esperaría que fuese. No sé. Y todavía igual no entiendo, hay cosas que probablemente no entiendo, o sea. No sé, o sea, no sé nada. Tengo un espacio limitado para obtener armas y no saco nada teniendo como un arma 20 veces, la verdad. Y si un arma siento que pega muy poco, tampoco sirve. Se supone que la misión cuenta de que tengo que ir y recoger digamos, o matar a ciertos bandidos que hay en el mapa, ¿no? Esa es la misión. Me faltaría solamente revisar tiendas, ¿no? Máquina expendedora. Faltaría revisar la parte de acá, esa parte de allá y la parte de acá para acabar todo el mapa, honestamente. No es mucho lo que me falta. Después tienes estos monstruos. O sea, al principio, claro, al principio sí se me hizo un poco más difícil. Porque lo tenía en dificultad difícil, la verdad. Y se notaba que estaba difícil, ¿no? Ahora no es que sea fácil porque no lo es, pero tengo mejores armas también que me van a ayudar a un poco a avanzar más en la historia o en las misiones secundarias, porque en realidad estoy haciendo misiones secundarias. Estoy tratando de subir de nivel para ver si puedo reparar ese robot que estaba en la parte de allá. Esta parte creo que no la llegué a revisar, si no me equivoco. O tal vez sí, no sé. Puede ser que sí lo haya pasado, sí lo haya visto. O sea, tiene el tema, por ejemplo, de las habilidades de Fallout 1. de hablar, no, de la cerradura y todo ese tema. Todo eso lo tiene. Tiene lo de las diferentes armas. Tiene como las cosas... me equivoqué. Tiene como las cosas que debería tener un juego de ese estilo.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble. I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along. Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those. That'd be our local green thumb. Answers to Adelaide. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you. Just a gathering of simple folk minding our own troubles. Got plenty. Don't need you adding to them. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind. Well, look at you, buzzing around the aether with your very own ship. Rest of us gotta make do with the ground at our feet. No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her. It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere. Could do without the gallows humor. I'll tell you what I can. Vex me. If she told anybody, they ain't telling me. I'd check her room, but I got yelled at for snooping once already. Well, enough to know we never got on. Zoe and Stefan were close. If anybody knows the workings of her mind, he does. She was lazy and thoughtless, but she's still one of our own. Could be. Dangers aplenty out there. No telling why marauders would steal somebody like Zoe. Got no useful skills far as I could tell. What is it?
O sea, en este juego realmente el robar no tiene ninguna consecuencia si no te ven. Si te ven, tiene una consecuencia. Pero la única consecuencia que tiene es que pierdes, digamos, amistad con ciertas facciones. Es la única consecuencia.
Keep your wits about you, friend.
No. Entonces como que da lo mismo, lo que sí, claro, lo que robas no puedes... digamos que lo que robas no lo puedes vender prácticamente, o sea, lo puedes vender, pero en ciertos NPCs y probablemente con un valor ínfimo. ¿No? Entonces no, como que siento que no vale mucho la pena robar. Porque al final hay tanta mierda botada por todos lados que... no creo.
If you're hungry, Stefan's got supplies.
Ahora, la casa de Zoe... Podría ser eso. Bueno, lo bueno es que está todo bien marcado. Eso sí me gusta. Me gusta que te lo marque. Por lo menos. Y lo del banco de trabajo, no lo he probado todavía.
If you're hungry, Stefan's got supplies.
¿Y dónde está el banco de trabajo? Pues se supone que descubrí un banco de trabajo. Ah, acá. No sé, pues, por ejemplo, esta arma. ¿Qué es esto? Una mira. Y esta. Cambia el tipo de arma al daño eléctrico o ese tipo de cosas. No sé, hay, como dije, hay algo que me da vueltas en la cabeza, como que siento que hay algo que le falta a este juego, honestamente. Estoy tratando de... O sea, tengo varios juegos de mundo abierto. Quería probar este y ver qué onda. Porque lo que pasa es que cuando no me gusta un juego, honestamente lo dejo de lado. Y ya luego de eso es bien difícil que lo retome, la verdad. No es que no me guste, me gusta, pero hay algo que no me gusta de él. Ese es mi problema, que como dije, cuando hay algún juego que pruebo, igual puede ser de que no me guste, o sea, que hay algo que no me guste ahora y luego después más adelante si los juegos me gustan, no sé. Pero por ahora, por lo menos, no sé, hay algo que no encaja.
If you're hungry, Stefan's got supplies.
¿Quién será Stefan? Bueno, puede ser este.
You hungry? We got canid ribs,
Este es el que
canid
estaba
flank,
herido.
canid snout too. Something I can help you with? You mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty close. Not like her to go loping off. Zoe and I were gonna watch the serials, as is our custom. She never turned up. I looked around, but she was nowhere to be found. You sound like some type of corporate fixer asking all these questions. Zoe was always obsessed with this serial. Masked Marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics. Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her. Can't say I recall Zoe ever acting strange. Well, except for her habit of writing things down on scraps of paper. She called it journaling, but I think it's just plain odd. The other day, I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer. I was gonna surprise Zoe with it, but she was gone the next day. Hey, I got time. Fresh off the limb, and that includes canid meat.
O sea, ese es el mismo lugar donde tenemos que ir para matar al tipo este que está siendo buscado. Ahora estos de acá son...
Huh? Gonna find you! I smell blood!
Esta arma es un poquito excesiva, pero bueno.
Gonna find you! Hiding? You scared?
Estoy tratando de encontrar un mundo abierto que sea interesante. Tengo ahí un par de juegos que más podría elegir, pero por ahora voy a seguir con este y ver qué onda. No. Monstruos de aquí. Me van a matar. El arma es muy pesada. Lo bueno que tengo la nueva armadura, pues si no... Me haría en pedazos. Una flaqueza. Percepción -1, temperamento -1 y destreza -1. Bueno. Voy a llevarlo a 46, a 47. Y esto... Hay una mina. Madre santa. Que se tiraron.
Come out and play! I smell blood hiding!
Corre, hermano, porque te van a matar.
You hiding? Heard something? Hear that?
O sea, esta arma por lo menos se siente un poco más pesada. Definitivamente. Pudieron haber hecho una animación, digo yo, ¿no? De cubrirse, pero bueno, no lo hicieron. Pero es que no. Una pierna. Qué lado. Ahora se supone que puedo reparar. Creo que puedo reparar al robot que está ahí del otro lado. Que no sé si tiene mucha importancia, honestamente, la verdad. Puede que no, puede que sí. Pero mucho lugar cerrado, mucha... Como que te hacen pensar de que el pueblo es muy muy grande, pero en realidad es enano. Y este es como el primer mapa, si no me equivoco. Aún estoy tratando de buscar la weá para la nave, que no la tenemos, creo. Creo porque no sé. He agarrado tanta mierda que no tengo idea si es que la tengo o no. Por lo menos ahora aguanto, antes no aguantaba una mierda. Está todo cerrado. Au. Au. Madre santa. Me pegó en la cara.
Wow, you crossed them all off, like some sort of heroic accountant running down a list. Teach me your ways. What, you mean Adelaide's little congregation of nature-loving nobodies? I could not possibly be less interested in them. You, on the other hand, you were a sight to behold. If I had half your skills, I'd be the greatest outlaw the coast has ever seen. Why? Adelaide wants me back on garden duty or something? Thanks, but I'm not going anywhere. This is where I belong. I'm great at clarifying.
No. I insinuated myself into their company, see? And they didn't seem to mind one whit. I may have bartered them a few boxes of adrena time, but I'm sure that's got nothing to do with it. I don't know. The vital processes that constitute the miracle of life are mysterious and unknowable. Oh, you mean around these guys? The Marauders wouldn't hurt me. They love me. I'm practically their queen. Yeah, must be my natural charisma. I got kicked out of Edgewater on account of falling sick with plague and stealing some medicine to treat myself. I'd heard some outlaws set up camp in the botanical labs. I decided to throw in with them, seeing as I always wanted to be an outlaw myself. Instead, what do I find but a bunch of former workers camped out around a greenhouse? I couldn't just go back to the cannery, so I was stuck with them. I've got all the time in Halcyon. I doubt that. Nobody in that camp really cared about me. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Also, he could carry on a conversation, unlike these hooligans. I'll take my stuff and head on back, I suppose. Grace is going to be glaring knives at me, so I've got that to look forward to.
Entonces teníamos que convencerla para que volviese al campamento, ya lo logramos. Bien. Qué emoción. Qué emoción. No siento ninguna puta emoción, la verdad. Lo siento muy artificial, o sea, es muy robótico todo esto. Es como... Siento que es como... Un mundo ahí como medio... Y aparte hay glitches también, o sea, a veces las puertas se abren así como media raras. No sé por qué. Antes no o sea, al principio no se abrían así, se abrían bien. Pero como que ahora empezaron a abrirse medias rarillas. No sé. No tengo idea. Quiero ver lo de robots, eso sí. Entonces se supone que en teoría ya revisamos todo. Nos faltaría solamente esa parte de acá. Y yo no creo que me sirva esta espada, por ejemplo. La cagué, pero bueno. Ahí. No sé, como que se siente, como dije, un poco como que no real. Obviamente los juegos no son reales, ¿no? Pero hay juegos que se sienten un poquito mejor, la verdad. Gráficamente está bien, dentro de todo. ¿Y qué es esto? ¿Por qué tengo este valor negativo? La conmoción me baja, ¿no? Oh, me baja 7. Eso no es bueno. Y esto me lo bajaron. Eso tuvo que haber sido por la decisión que tomé, ¿no? De... Qué mal. Esa penalidad... Y me falta mucho para subir de nivel. Yo creo que la penalidad viene... No sé cómo quitar la penalidad. Fuerza y destreza. No debería haber tomado la penalidad porque tenía 46 o 47. 47 tenía. Menos 7 es demasiado. Por una ventaja, la verdad que no valía la pena. Si soy honesto. Y no sé si es permanente, porque puede ser permanente probablemente. O tal vez estoy aturdido. Ah, estaba aturdido, ¿no? Sí, estaba aturdido, qué bueno. Claro, porque me iba a afectar mucho esa mierda.
Find you. What's that noise? That blade. Come out, Esmeralda. Smell something. Too strong. Too strong. I smell blood. Gonna find. I smell blood.
O sea, pego una mierda, ¿eh? Pego 8, o sea. Una mierda, pero bueno.
Smell something.
Ahora, ¿qué habrá causado la penalidad? Y lo bueno que no era permanente, como dije. Era una penalidad pasajera. O sea, ya voy a terminar las misiones estas que me falta muy poco, la verdad. Tengo que volver al campamento y todo ese tema, pero nada más. Y luego entregar los dedos de los huevones que me pidieron, ¿no? Y ya con eso terminaríamos las misiones secundarias. Al principio me hacía mucho daño al hacer eso. Y mi internet creo que está fallando, la verdad. Me parece. Volvamos para allá porque como que ya limpié toda esta zona. Si había algo vivo ya no hay nadie. Esto no lo vi, por ejemplo. Esto estaba cerrado, ¿no? Sí. Ahora, el perk de movilidad sí es súper importante. Probablemente no debería usar esta arma, o sea, sí es buena, pero prefiero... Es muy grande. Es buena para los enemigos estos que te quieren violar, digamos. El juego es bueno, no voy a decir que es malo, pero como dije, tiene esa sensación de que algo falta. No es como un Fallout realmente. Sé que lo comparo con Fallout todo el rato, pero es que...
What is it? We didn't always get along, but I'm glad to know she's safe. What happened, anyway? Zoe joined up with a band of marauders. Zoe. The same Zoe who doesn't know a barrel from a trigger. Well,
I've heard stranger things. You pretty much did my job for me. Least I could do is pay you for your trouble. Let me know if I can do something for you.
O sea, aquí en el vertedero estaba el robot este. Lo bueno que tiene es viajes rápidos y eso es genial. Así que puedo viajar rápido acá y de aquí moverme al vertedero. Pues, ¿no? Esta arma se ve buena, la verdad, se ve bastante bien. Veamos si es que ahora puedo reparar o hablar con ese robot que está acá. Aquí está.
Searching for repair bay. Error. Navigation systems failed. Unable to comply. Navigation systems operational. Optimal path toward repair bay detected. Initiating self-diagnostics. Spacer's Choice reminds all colonists that serving the Spacer's Choice family is the highest possible reward. I have been programmed to deliver this pre-approved message.
O sea, se supone que había una opción, según lo que vi en un video, donde te mostraban... Pero había otro, había un botón, hay una... no sé. Pero bueno, había una opción de poder como ver el resultado final del arma, una cosa así. ¿Ven que como que se abre mega mal? Todo esto es robar, pero como dije, igual da lo mismo si robas. O sea, no. Si te ven, claramente es un problema, pero si no.
You some sort of freelancer?
Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing with myself.
Nothing I can do about that.
Something to report? We pay by the finger. What do you have for me? Gil Antrim. Real name, Guillaume. Duly processed by a freelancer on behalf of Spacer's Choice. I remember him. Was just a kid last I saw him. Shame. I'll just need your signature here, 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 and here. Got any more fingers for me? Mabel Burgess. Age 37. Right or left-handed? Let's just say no longer applicable. I remember Doc Burgess. Conducted my physical every fiscal quarter. Guess she couldn't keep her hands off her patient's medicine. Still one outstanding bounty. If you've got a finger, I've got the paperwork. Here we are. Bertie Cotton. Cause of death. Let's just say overwhelming physical trauma. Bert was the local preacher before Max took over. Always was quick to remind us that we all get what we deserve in the end. Well, that's all three. I must remember to requisition some more fingerprint ink. Here's all the compensation you've earned, plus a bonus. You've done such a bang-up job hunting